Hamburg. Sehr, sehr schön, euch alle hier zu sehen. Ich werde sehr schnell sprechen heute, aber um es mir selbst leichter zu machen, I am going to speak in English because I'm going to offer you an ice-cold beer today. Why am I going to do that? Because people often speak indirectly. If you're saying, hey, I'm watching Dan's presentation, how was it? You might say, well, I had a beer and that was pretty good. What are you really trying to say? No, the presentation was no good because you are speaking in a convoluted manner. Because linguistics is a tremendously complicated field. Oh boy, we're not even going to spend a lot of time on this slide. Take a good look at it, it's going right away. But what I want to do is use AI to get more out of human speech by reading between the lines and understanding conversational implicature. Because people speak with something called an economy of turns. If I show up at your house and say, do you have an ice-cold beer for me? You might say, it's in the fridge. And you have just given me a conversation of 8 steps for computers. We have taken the conversation forward, anticipated my question, and answered it very quickly. Generative AI has problems doing this. They're wonderful. Large language models are wonderful at anticipating human speech if it's direct. But if it's indirect, they have problems because they can do syllogisms very well. If it's raining outside, the streets will be wet. If they're wet, they'll be slippery. There is a syllogism. They do that very, very well. But they cannot read between the lines of human speech. So we have come up with something called pragmatic metacognitive prompting. And what we do is we teach large language models to read between the lines using these steps, and then we derive computer language from what we've learned. You've heard it. I speak English and a little bit of German. I like German because German uses huge long words, and one of them is Baubarkeitskonflikt. When I configured my company car, this is what I wanted. You might recognize it. I really wanted those powerful laser cannons so I could blow other drivers off the highway. So I wanted a car with a heads-up display, just like a TIE fighter. I configured it with that option, but when I got my car, it didn't have that option because I had a Baubarkeitskonflikt. And if you have one during the vehicle configuration process, and it's not resolved, you stop the process. That's where money gets lost. We teach people to read between the lines using computer applications and get the meaning they need during the configuration process. Another great long word for you. Anybody might know this acronym. It's an acronym. It is so long it could use its own acronym. What is it? It is the Energieverbrauchskennzeichnungsverordnung Personenkraftwagen, which says anytime that you use a digital or print medium to describe a vehicle and its motor, you are required to give the vehicle emissions data. And what if you use a digital human to do it? And the digital human forgets to show you the data when it has to be given from the conversational context. That will cost you 50,000 euros in penalties because you didn't give the customer the fine print. Ironically, a dealer of cars, a flesh and blood person, is not required to give you this information, but an advertising medium is. So what we did is we programmed a computer interface that reads between the lines of human speech and says, hey, how fast does that car go? If you know which vehicle it is, we access the vehicle options database, get the information by reading the conversational context. So the person doesn't have to say, how much fuel does this vehicle consume? We can derive that information from conversational implicature and conversational context. So that's more or less the message I have today. We are teaching machines to read between the lines of human speech. And we do that by using metacognitive prompting. It's a new way of prompting large language models and generative AI to use the principles of human speech to read between the lines of conversation. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy the presentation.